Hello, welcome to Provoking Safety. My name is Kevin Barrett. I'm a health and safety professional, and all through my career, I've had a desire that I could make health and safety a bit easier to understand, a bit more practicable, fancy word for doable, just all around easier. It's also been my desire to provoke safety within people. If I can get them thinking about it, talking about it, then maybe they'll do it. So hence the tagline for this: we want to provoke safety. We want to think about safety, talk about safety, and do safety, with the intention, of course, of provoking safety at home and in the workplace. Now, this segment is called 7 Minutes of Safety. So what I want to do is I want to put 7 minutes on the clock. We'll start right now, right here, right now. And I want to talk about how hazard assessments need to drive your program. What's driving your program? Is it trends? Is it outside influences? Is it other departments within your organization or groups? Are you making evidence-based decisions? That's what we really got to think about. So let's get into it and start. I want to talk about 3 points, and these 3 points are this. 1, every safety program needs to strive for continuous improvement. However, there needs to be direction for this improvement. 2, where you should be finding this direction. In other words, where to look. A map, so to speak. 3, how you can create a process where you'll have some sustainability with this principle and you'll be able to keep it as a principle within your program. Point 1, continuous improvement and how you get there. I've discussed before the need for continuous improvement in other videos, and I'm going to leave a link down at the end. You'll be able to find it one of these sides. I urge you to have a look at the video because continuous improvement is absolutely necessary for a health and safety program. It's necessary for program longevity and compliance. Legislation changes, so it's imperative that you change with the legislation. Also, markets change, business influences change, so you have to be agile as an organization, and part of that agility is having a good program that can move to meet market needs so that your organization can stay competitive. It also helps to boost engagement within the organization and interest. I'm not talking about constant shifts and change because that's chaos. That's not proper change, and it's not improvement. Data with context needs to drive your improvement, not trends and not anybody's ideas. Basically, what you need to have is some good, purposeful meaning for that change. In other words, good evidence. And we'll get to that. Considering a course correction for your safety program without considering the data is like entering into a conversation halfway. No context, just pretext. So change without data, without context, and without a plan. Well, I want you to picture driving in a foreign country where you don't know the language, don't know the people, don't have a guide, don't have a map, not even GPS. Yeah, picture that. That's what it'd be like. So let's look at the next point and see where you're going to get that direction. Every health and safety program needs to be comprehensive. In other words, you have to always be addressing the legislation and have components within your program that will help you to be compliant. Other parts of your program are going to be appropriate to your organization. Say, for instance, if you're an office management group, you're obviously not going to be worried about ladder safety. Problem does come up, though, when other interests within the organization, departments, groups, even outside influence or consultants make attempts to influence the program based on their own interests or attraction to the latest business trends. Good health and safety programs need to be reviewed often to meet the needs of the organization and legislation. Great safety programs have it written into them how they're going to do this. So where do you get the direction? I think I've been pretty clear about it. The decisions are data-driven and evidence-driven, and the data and evidence are personal to your organization. This data comes from a hazard recognition and control process within your organization. I've done another video regarding how hazard recognition works. In fact, I have a playlist, and I'll leave that link as well at the end of this video. The very first thing that should be noted is your JHA or Job Hazard Assessment process should have a risk and hazard matrix that helps you to analyze hazards and analyze risk within your organization. It's a good starting point for everything, and it's how all of your evidence should be gathered. Now, if you're using the Job Hazard Assessment process properly, each position is assessed for its hazard and risk based on their tasks And the highest hazard and highest risk positions plus their tasks are going to be noted through your documents. After that, you can take your records from your incident report and your inspections, compare both of them, and make sure that risks are actually being considered and there's risk reduction taking place. The evidence can then be reviewed and ensure it's not anomalous, but actually moving in the direction that you want it to. Once the actual hazard and associated risks have been reduced, then it's time to begin pushes into new areas, looking at other points, how you can expand on the legislation or get into some best practices and move ahead of your peers. But it's important to stick with the basics. Everything begins with a firm foundation and a well-built foundation, and that means sticking to your basics. In order to maintain purposeful direction and continuity within your health and safety program, the policy should be written to include wording about complying with legislation, striving for continuous improvement, and making evidence-based decisions. In other words, using data. Now, additional documents such as the policy statements or the actual health and safety program itself also can have wording in it that will note that the corporate health and safety data and the hazard assessments and associated evaluations will be used to make changes to the program. You can also word it that any proposed changes will be based on their evidence and ensuring their worth by the evidence that they propose. In other words, think of this. If you're wanting to launch another health and wellness campaign, right now, what is your evidence and what is your data showing? I want you to think about this. If you're continuously investigating things like, well, what's in this picture? Or you're finding stuff on inspections like what's in this picture. Do you really want to run another campaign on health and wellness? Do you really want to run another seminar on conflict of interest? Or do you want to look at the evidence before you and make sure that you're reducing that risk accordingly? Make evidence-based decisions and usually you'll be successful and your program will have the right direction. Anyway, we've pretty much covered it. As I asked in the beginning of the video, if you like the content, can you click the like button? If you didn't like it, by all means, go ahead, click that unlike button, but do me a favor, let me know why. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, can you click the subscribe button? And if you ding the bell, you'll get notified of new content. Once again, my name's Kevin. I enjoy bringing you these videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.